Hello, and welcome to Wealthy Women's Wednesday. I'm so excited to be here with you goddesses. Hello, and welcome. If you can't hear me for any reason, just click on the link below. If you can't hear me, just click on the little microphone below. I'm so excited to be here because this marks our fourth Visbility challenge for the month. I'm out of breath because I just ran downstairs to get some props. I've got a diagram I'm going to create you today because I want to really help you see what might be getting in your way of being more visible this year, specifically in the area of perfection. Now, I know that none of you are perfectionists, and I know that I'm talking to all of us out there, myself included, when I say, we don't have to have all of our ducks in a row. We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to, exude rainbow and butterfly positive energy anytime we're ever in leadership. I mess up all the time. And I know some of you guys mess up. And, I'm putting a stake in the ground today to get you guys a couple of tools, a couple of concepts that you can start to really orient around in terms of how good do you think you need to be to go to major quantum levels of leaping quantum levels this year, reaching a lot more people, changing a lot more lives and bumping yourself to a much higher income level, right? Because I think, we consistently associate our self-worth with things like, whether we, burst into tears this morning or whether we have the amount of numbers in our bank account or not. So I'm here to pose the question to you. What does your inner perfectionist say to you? Hi, Kim Robertson. Hi, Megan. Hi, Nina. Hi, Emily. So good to see all you guys. So let me know here, right on the comments thread, what is your inner perfectionist saying to you? Is your inner perfectionist, that's kind of a tongue twister. Is it really tied up in how you put yourself together? Is it really tied up in what you're wearing? Is it really tied up in making sure you did the right job with your makeup? Is it really hard, for you to believe that people actually accept you and want you just the way you are? Pamela Williams, hello from Alabama. Dawn, welcome. I'm so glad you made this too. Kaya, you're letting me know that it's really hard to believe that you don't have to appear perfect. Yes, exactly. I'm here to actually get you the concepts and get you a couple of essential leadership-based mindset shifting tools so that you can actually just show up as you are. Wouldn't that be a relief? Oh my gosh. What if people wanted you just for who you are? Mish Murphy, it's hard for you to believe that your teaching is actually powerful. I can totally relate. I still have days that I wake up that I'm like, is anybody going to be on today? Right? Cynthia says, hello from Reno. Cynthia, tell me, what does your inner perfectionist say? Because the more that we can actually, get in touch with our inner voices. So I'm really challenging you in the next 20, we're going to be on for 20, 25 more minutes. That's what we have today. And what if this could be a game-changing moment for you in the area of your inner perfectionist? All right, let's put a stake in the ground that you actually get the mindset shift that you came here for today. So I have a quick story to tell you before I teach you a couple of my perfectionist busting tools. And Charlotte, thank you so much for posting. Your perfectionist says that you won't have the right words. Oh my God, I can totally relate to this. Kaya says that your perfectionist says that you're not put together enough, especially in terms of your program materials. Oh my God, I can totally relate to that. So here's the assignment today. Tell me what your inner perfectionist is saying, and then go love somebody up by responding to their comment and saying, what if you are perfectly put together? What if you totally have the right words, right? Just love people up and give people some responses on the comment thread today so that we can just get that cycle. Many of you experienced that during the Visbility video challenge, right? you experience this feeling of putting something out there and having 20 people say, oh my God, you're beautiful, you're radiant, you're articulate. What if we could start to create that culture every Wednesday morning where this is somewhere that you come, you bust one of your limiting mindset beliefs, you have somebody acknowledge you every Wednesday morning, and you get juiced up and filled up to go about the second half of your week being productive, excited, in the flow, knowing that you just get to show up. You don't have to be perfect. We just threw our launch together this January because I just launched a book, right? Last October, I launched my book, and you guys just saw me roll out my launch of Events That Change Lives. We welcomed 200 new women into the Events That Change Lives program in the last week. I mean, that blows me away that we can throw some stuff out onto the internet. And believe me, this has been a solid 5 years of building my platform. So don't compare yourself to me. But I just want to be honest that there's a few things we did really imperfectly during that launch. And yet we had great results. Over 200 new clients. How many of you would be so excited to have that result? And so I'm here to tell you that I'm not doing this perfectly behind the scenes. My team is not doing this perfectly behind the scenes. And you don't have to do this perfectly to get the amazing results, impact, and income that you're looking to create this year. So before I get you one of my favorite perfectionist busting tools, I have to tell you this story of last 2 years ago when I led my biggest event of the year. Once a year, usually it's in March, we do a 3-day event. Right now it's known as Women Rocking Business Live. So some of you are coming and we're so excited to have you there. We did this event 2 years ago, and I was at the time dating and doing a really I would say I would give myself like a C- with the level of intention that I was doing in my dating. I was meeting new guys. I was dating kind of for the first time. I had just gotten out of a 2.5-year long relationship. And I was sloppy in the way I was taking care of myself in the dating world. Let me know below on the comment thread if you can relate to any of this. I have things pretty much together in my business, but in my dating world, I was feeling a little needy. I wanted love. I wasn't necessarily discerning in the way that I should have been around qualities of men that I was getting to know. Long story short, I had met a guy online and we were having a date. Now, I have a rule for myself. When I meet a new guy online, coffee first. And in fact, ideally, hop on the phone first and then coffee or a walk, not dinner. Right? Dinner is a second date. It's not a first date, because the first date is really only meant to be used to decide if you want a second date. The first date is really more of an interview. Is this somebody I even want to talk to? Right? There's rules of dating to kind of protect yourself and protect your heart, protect your nervous system, just like there's rules of business. It's one of the reasons why we hire mentors, right? Because there's specific mindset techniques and plans and rules that we want to learn so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So long story short, I broke my own rules. It was like a little over a week before my biggest event of the year. And I had talked on the phone with this guy that seemed really great. And I let him take me out on a Friday night for dinner. Bad move. I knew I was breaking my own rules. So it ended up being a really challenging date, I'm sure, for both of us. I don't need to go into the details, but his profile drastically misrepresented who he really is. He looked much different in person than he did in his pictures. And, he was still living with his parents, right? So, and no offense if that's you, but he had painted a picture of himself that was misrepresentative. Believe me, no shame in moving back in with your parents for a little while if you need to start your business. But his misrepresentation caught me off guard. It was a bad date. It stressed me out. He kind of exploded on me at the end. And, I drove home in tears and I woke up the next morning with a sore throat and I ended up sick for my biggest event of the year. Terrible story, right? This is like the moment of the year that you least want to end up sick. I literally at one point had a coughing fit on stage, literally hacking up a lung, like coughing fit. And I had to catch myself to get myself together. And I said to the crowd, I took a breath after, this making this guttural primal sound. I took a breath and said to the crowd, that was Czechoslovakian for I see the God in you. And everybody was cracking up. And what ended up happening is I was beating myself up for the fact that I had let myself go out on a date with this, he hadn't been properly screened 1 week before my event. And then the worst thing about it, you guys, was that I was beating myself up. So tell me on the comment thread, thank you, Charlotte, so much for posting. Thanks, you guys, for giving me some love on this story, because you know how horrific this moment was. So on the comment thread, I want to hear, have you ever made a mistake and then beat yourself up for it? And the beating yourself up is worse than the mistake that you made in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could have just let myself be human and been like, yeah, of course. I was freaked out about my event. I wanted to meet this guy. He seemed really cool. Of course I wanted to go out on a date. It wasn't the night before my event. It was a week before my event. I was run down anyway. I ended up sick. You know what? In the spectrum of performers and actors and actresses, pretty much anybody who ever has to get on stage or perform is gonna get sick a couple times in their life, overlapping a performance, right? Many of you probably have done the same thing. So thanks, you guys all who are posting and giving me some love, because this is the thing that when we can actually hear, I'm kind of sick and tired of leaders that don't talk about how it really is behind the scenes. I loved the Lady Gaga documentary. Have you guys seen it? Watch it if you haven't watched it. What I loved about it, and the Beyonce documentary is really good too. What I love about these documentaries is these women are breaking down before their performances. Lady Gaga has turned into a wet, hot mess before she has to get on stage. And thank God that these women are out there letting us know, you know what? It's scary to get on stage. Of course you're going to break down. Of course you're going to have body breakdown. Of course you're going to have emotional breakdown. Of course you're going to say things that you don't mean. And so now what I do about a week before my big event is I pretty much have always done this. I clear off everything from my calendar. I tell everybody who loves me and who's going to spend time with me that I might be a little bit of a mess, and to give me extra love and to have extra patience with me. And I just put myself in a warm womb of cocoon of love. The week before my event, I scheduled dates with friends who just love me. I, take really good care of myself, lots of body work. And I make sure that I'm ready to go for that event. I have my handouts ready. The itinerary is ready. Everything's ready to go a week before the event. If it's a big 3-day event, I don't want to be stressing about anything in the days before the event. Now, that's not how it's always been. If you're putting together one of your first 2-day events and you end up having to work until a couple of days before the event, again, don't beat yourself up. No matter what your perfectionist is saying, the thing that's worse is beating up on yourself. Because think about this, you guys, and I love your shares. I love your transparencies, because think about this. I love what the 4 Agreements. Have you guys read that book, The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz? I love what he says about doing our personal best. He says that our personal best is only defined as the personal best that we can do in that moment. Our personal best doesn't mean perfect. It doesn't mean rainbows and butterflies. So take this in and write this down. This is so important. If you're judging yourself for your personal best, then what are you telling yourself? If you showed up and you tried and you still made a mistake and you're beating up on yourself for that, what are you telling yourself about your personal best? You're basically telling yourself, my personal best isn't good enough. You're never going to grow in that innate confidence that we all need to be able to get out there and change lives. Can you guys see my cat right now? My cat is doing her personal best to distract me Well, I'm here on Women Wealthy Wednesdays with you guys. So she is absolutely deserving of lots of praise for these behaviors. So the real piece here that I want you to take home is just like one of you guys just posted. I can't tell who it was. Being human is the real deal. Was that Bonita? Was that Penny? Being human is the real deal. Oh, it was Nancy. Hi, Nancy Thonis. It's so good to have you here. We get to be human in our journey of entrepreneurship. Okay, we get to be human in front of our clients. We get to be human everywhere. And I tell my clients this, please don't put me up on a pedestal because I will come crashing down on you. So here's the diagram that I want to show you guys, because have you guys ever seen the villain, victim, and hero diagram? When I saw this, I have to say I got my circuits blown a little bit. If you haven't seen this, you know, you may find yourself kind of thinking about it throughout the next couple of days, chewing on what it really means that we spend a lot of time on the triangle. One of the quickest ways out of feeling like we have to be a perfectionist is to recognize that some of our perfectionistic tendencies are oftentimes heroing tendencies. All right. So this is the triangle. This is a diagram that was created by Gay and Katie Hendricks, but this is a really universal diagram that's used in leadership trainings all over the world. Now, most human beings spend their time on the triangle. Can you feel it? Right? We feel like, why is life doing this to me? Why is this so hard? Right? Why does this feel so hard to start a business? Why can't it be easier? Why aren't more people promoting me? Why aren't more people helping me? Why don't I have more money in the bank? Right? These are all coming from this area of the triangle right here. Right? We feel victimized by life, by how hard it is to build a business. When we feel victimized, what we sometimes try to do is, rather than express the emotions fully, rather than clear it, let it go, getting support from our girlfriends, right? What we'll do is we'll try to hero ourselves. We try to say to ourselves, I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, I'm amazing, right? But oftentimes part of us doesn't really believe it. The other thing that we try to do is we try to hero and rescue other people, like our clients, right? If all of our clients aren't having amazing, mind-blowing results every single day, you know, we start to feel like we've failed, right? And we feel like, why can't I be the hero to rescue everybody who's looking to me for leadership? Why can't I rescue them and solve all their problems, right? And when we're stuck on the triangle, we'll oftentimes find ourselves in the role of villain. What happens is that we bounce between these three areas. And in the role of villain, right? Like, we're just annoyed. We're annoyed at somebody for not doing it right. We snap at our assistant. We get pissed at internet marketing. Why is it so hard to get people's attention online, right? And we curse Facebook, you know, when we're trying to figure out how to run an ad or how to post a video and it's not working, right? So can you see how being on the triangle basically keeps you locked in a lot of disempowering behaviors, right? And can you see how if you show up as a hero, okay, tell me the truth. Have you ever tried to hero anybody in your life? Have you ever tried to hero your husband, solve all his problems for him? Have you ever tried to hero a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Or, you know, why don't they just take my advice, right? You're thinking to yourself. Okay, so can you see how when you're heroing somebody, maybe you've heroed your kids. Can you see how when you're heroing somebody, the only place for them to go is here or here, right? You're not seeing them as whole and complete, because if you're heroing them, The only place for them to go in order for you guys to stay in relationship, if you're playing the role of the hero and not letting your personal best be good enough, the only places that you have to go are here or here. You either get stuck in victim, or you get, the person that you're interacting with either then is going to turn into a victim or is going to turn into a villain and push back against you. Do you guys see it? I mean, like when I first saw this, I was like, this is fucking profound. How do I get off the triangle? You know what I mean? Like, my friend Terry's always so honest. She's like, when I first saw the triangle, I didn't even know there was another way to be. Like, I had spent my whole life on the triangle, right? I mean, this is real. Like, we spend a lot of time bouncing around on here, especially with our personal thoughts. And liberation, right? Liberation comes with a couple of things. Liberation comes from recognizing that this is happening, right? Take a screenshot of this, write this down, draw your own little triangle on a Post-it note and stick it on the bathroom mirror for a while so that you can see and you can start to recognize like, oh my God, I'm bouncing back and forth between victim and hero right now. I'm doing the poor me thing, and then I'm doing the I can do this, but I don't really believe it thing. So you guys want to know what pops you off the triangle? What pops you off the triangle is recognizing that you have a choice. You have a choice what you're thinking about. You have a choice of how you're relating to your clients. You have a choice of how you schedule your time. You have a choice of what you want to do with your life. You have a choice of how much money you want to make. You have a choice. You have a choice. You have a choice. And the minute you get stuck on this triangle and you recognize that you're on it, you now in that moment, that little moment is a treasure. The fact that you can even recognize when you're on the triangle is the very beginning of you being able to create an entirely new mindset for yourself, where you can pop off this triangle and become empowered, right? And become somebody who is empowered, somebody who has awareness, right? Instead of a hero, you can be like a mentor. You can be like a confident, trusting, humble mentor who's here in service, right? Instead of a villain, you can be somebody who challenges that which you might not believe in, right? I am here to challenge the political system right now. And the way I'm doing that is by empowering as many freaking women as I can get in front of in my lifetime to help you get these tools, believe in yourselves, get out there, make more money, make a bigger difference, and give back, because we can change the world. We're the ones. You know, everybody's saying Oprah for president. I don't even know if I want Oprah to be president. Think of the good that Oprah's doing on the planet when she's not in the White House. Let's keep Oprah in the Oprah house. Like, we are standing on her shoulders. We're standing on Lady Gaga's shoulders. Beyonce. None of these women are perfect. I don't care if you like Lady Gaga or not. These women are out there. They're being so brave. You know, Lady Gaga has gotten in front of, you know, billions of people and told the world that she was, you know, abused, that, you know, she has sexual abuse in her past. How many, you know, star power, well-known women are willing to stand up and say that? And then, you know, in the middle of the Academy Awards, she does this whole piece on speaking out against violence against women. I don't care if you like her songs or not. Like, go Lady Gaga. You're 31 years old and you're making it part of your mission to eradicate violence against women. Like, we women, we are the answer. We're the solution. And any of you men watching, you're the solution too, because you care about us and you see that feminine values and women's values are a part of the solution. And they're not the only part of the solution. We have to work together, the women and the men together. But you have a choice. When you recognize you're on this thing, you have a choice to pop off, and you have a choice to realize, you know what? I'm not the only one that falls apart. I'm not the only one that breaks out in tears. in the middle of a stressful morning of my life. I'm not the only one that gets so terrified to make a video or hit send on an email or put up a Facebook post. I'm not the only one who checks Facebook 3 times a day to see if anybody commented on my post, right? Like, what if we all started being the ones who, when you see one of your sisters posting on Facebook something that she believes in, something that she's doing, something that she's offering to the world, let's be the ones that put a comment that say, right on, girl, you go. I'm so glad you're offering this to the world, right? What if we all started taking care of each other in like a much deeper way to say, we're like seriously behind each other. I know the courage it takes to stick your neck out. I'm behind you. You go. This is the path. Us as women, and empowering the men in our lives and asking the men in our lives, because they can't read our minds, to make the choice to pop off of this thing, right? Rather than a villain, we can be a challenger, challenge the system. Rather than a hero, we can be a mentor. We can be somebody that people look up to. We can be somebody who is here in service of those who are listening. And rather than a victim, we can be empowered. So exciting, right? This is how we take our power back. This is how we build our businesses. This is how we reach more people. This is how we change lives. So write this down. When you guys are creating the little triangle on your Post-it note, you're going to put this on your bathroom mirror so that we can keep popping off this thing together. Instead of victim, empowered. Instead of villain, I can be a challenger when I need to. And instead of hero, I'm stepping into being a mentor who knows she does not have to be perfect. You got that? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up. So amazing to be here with you for Wealthy Women Wednesday. I want to absolutely welcome the over 200 of you that are going to be spending the next 90 days with us. Many of you are cashing in your ticket to the Women Rocking Business Live conference, March 4th through the 6th in Santa Cruz, California. The first week of March. I'm so excited to see you there. Goddesses, you're amazing. Many blessings. Have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone. Keep healing your inner perfectionist. Tell her that she does not have to be perfect, and tell her that she gets a new role. She gets the new role of reminding you that you get to be human. See you next week. Bye.